live.
You do?
No, not yet.
Oh.
There it is. Hello.
All right. Greetings.
Hello.
Greetings to all.
Hello, my Flat Earth family, and this is the Flat Earth Teachers Weekly Review. So Karen has already said hello to everyone, so that's great. And we're going to be going over some of the things that happened during the week. Karen has some things, I have some things, and I think it'll be a really interesting hour. And we're going to try and keep it to an hour like we always do, because everybody has busy lives, but there's a lot of stuff to go over here. And depending on how carefully Karen listens, we'll try and we'll get things all squared away here. But all right. So the first thing I wanted to do, I had on here, was the purpose of our channel. And that's really important, because the purpose of this is to unite and set everyone on a path and have a mission statement. And I'm going to refer everyone to the video that I have. I'll put that link in the description of the mission statement that we came up with last year. And the way I put that together was everyone, all the activists that I was associating with at the time gave a sentence. So that can change if we find that those are no longer applicable. But maybe we should review that for next week. But everybody go to that video I made of the mission statement and put in a comment there if you think it could be improved in some way, and any sincere comment I will consider. But I took their comments and just put them on the same paragraph. So that's all it is. It's not all me. So we are going to have a mission statement. We're going to have goals. We are going to unite and unify. We are going to teach. We are going to build. We are going to grow. Karen, can you put your mute on, please? I'm hearing a lot of background noise.
Let me figure out how to do that.
You did it once before.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, they're good. Thanks. So, yeah, I guess I could have muted you too, but I don't know how to do that, do I? Anyway, so what happens is, this is what I figured out. I figured out that every one of the activists were saying, well, everybody's got to do their own thing. You've heard that before. Everybody, who would say that. And you know what? The people who were saying that, Mom, turn that back on. Thank you. The people who were saying that were the ones who did not want Flat Earth to grow. In order for something to grow, you must have a foundation. And the foundation has to be solid. And it has to be something you can build upon. So we have a mission statement now. And anybody can fit into that mission statement. Then we are going to put out, as we have been doing on this channel, and now we're going to bring others. We have Howard George Sturt from Spain, and I think he seems to be on the same plane with us. And we're going to set forth principles that you can grow from, things you can learn to do, setting goals. And we are going to fill this world with Flat Earth teachers. We are going to reach out to all those who have not heard and who still trust the controlling, parasitic controllers in our governments. Governments, plural, all over the earth. And the reason I figured this out was, if everybody's like doing their own thing, that means there is no foundation. That's all I can say. And that means that we're all disconnected. We're not connected. And
Marilyn,
yeah.
I just wanted to say united is a good word here, because we want to be united and on the same page.
Correct. United under the same goals and foundation, and connected and growing. And that can only happen if we start with a good foundation, such as that mission statement, and we have goals. So this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to grow. Okay. And everyone who says, oh, you got to do your own thing. Well, guess what? F that. We're not doing that. You want to be a teacher? You want Flat Earth to grow? Then you're going to get with the program. You're going to have deep, meaningful friendships with other Flat Earthers. You're going to grow. You're going to accept criticism from other Flat Earthers. You're going to accept people. Thank you, Flat Earth is New Jerusalem put on there. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is in Jesus Christ. And there's a lot of things about the foundations in the Bible. If you build your foundation on sinking sand, no, you can't build a house on sand, because it will just erode. And that's what everybody doing their own thing means. It's like nobody's united here. So we're not doing that. We're going to unite. We're going to have something that brings us together, something in common. And that is this mission statement. So all of you who think and preach and get that garbage out into the ether that, oh, you can do your own thing. Well, guess what? I'm watching you. I don't trust you. So you want to get me on your bad side? Just say that. Okay? But you are not for Flat Earth. All right. The first thing I want to talk about is there was 2 videos that came out this week that we have to address. The first one is the Sleeping Warrior and Jeranism. Now, Sleeping Warrior and Jeranism, it seems as though, from the way Jeranism said, Sleeping Warrior contacted Jeranism and said, can I introduce this topic on your channel? That's what I'm getting. If it didn't happen that way, I don't know. You can call me a dirty name. I don't care. So the name of the video was Relative Density versus F equals MA. And that stands for force equals mass times acceleration. Okay. So that just means and I don't really agree with that, because force, all right, I'm not going to get too technical about this, but they are not the same thing. So when you have like 2 fighters, you have I don't even remember any fighters' names. Isn't that awful? Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. Okay, I remember him now. So here you have 2 equal things. Now somebody's going to win, but you have a fighter, and here you have a fighter. And they are both human male, and they are both trained in boxing, and they are both winners of previous matches. So there's no doubt that they qualify as a fighter or a boxer. Okay. Now I don't want to say boxer because we have Flat Earth boxer, but they are both fighters. So that is a versus. This guy versus this guy. Those are equal things. Relative density does not equal force. Relative density does not equal gravity. They are not in the same category. You cannot versus them. You cannot pit one against the other. It's apples and oranges. Even though an apple and an orange are both fruits, they are not the same thing. So relative density and gravity can be in the same discussion, but they are not the same thing. So let's get this true. Let's get this out here. Let's figure it out. Now I want to talk about relative density. Relative density is just another way of saying density and buoyancy. Buoyancy is just the densities that are lighter or not as dense are higher. The more dense are lower. So when you say relative density, you could say relative density without saying the buoyancy part. Now, can you say relative buoyancy? Yeah, I guess you could. Although it's not as clear as talking about density. So I think this piece was put out to add confusion. And I was really churned up about this because I don't like the implications of that. If that piece was put out to cause confusion, that would make me very upset. So I want somebody to try and show me how that was not put out as a confusion piece. Okay, so let's talk about this. Everyone knows, anybody who has followed my channel and followed my work, they know without a doubt that density and buoyancy are properties within the force. They are not a force. So let me give you an example of that because maybe this isn't clear. So, all right, let's say you're driving in your car and the engine light goes on. And the engine light says, oh, you need to add oil. You're low in oil. So what you do then is you unplug the engine light oil. The engine light that says you need more oil. You just unplug it. Does that do the same thing as adding oil to your engine? No. And if you drive any further, at some point, your engine will seize up and discontinue working. Because unplugging the indicator does not add the oil, does not make everything okay. So when you look at all the examples that Sleeping Warrior put up there about like the tube that has all of the different layers in it, like the water, oil, and all those other things that he had. No, he didn't do that. That's common. That's a common picture that's out there. And there's even like a cherry in there. It goes to one of the levels. So if you look at that, it's just an indicator of density. It is not a definer of the force, which separates the density. So just like that oil light that comes on your dashboard is an indicator, that tube with all the different fluids in there separated, that's an indicator. It is not a force. So you take that tube away, does that mean there's no density? No. So let's get real here. Okay? I think I'm the only one who really gives an alternative to gravity. And I think I might have to step up my game a little bit more and put something else out about that. I've been thinking about it and thinking about it, but I wanted to get to a point where there was some garbage in my life here, in my flat earth community life, that now is out of the picture. And now we can set some foundation. We have some good teachers like Karen, and we have Howard and Boxer. Now we can start growing the teaching community. And so maybe I can start giving a little bit of insight into some other thoughts I have on that torus field and the diamagnetism. But it is not. I'm the only one who is giving an alternative. I have heard other people say, well, maybe it's not a pull down, maybe it's a push down. And they don't go into the torus field, but at least that is an alternative. At least somebody who's trying to, see flat earth for the first time, they have something in their mind, well, gee, maybe it is something else. Okay, maybe you don't have to get as in-depth as I do. That's fine. But density and buoyancy are only indicators. They are properties within the force. In fact, they don't even talk about the force at all. What density does is talks about individual items like water. It shows you where water is in density relationship to the other things in that tube. It's only related to that tube. I don't understand why I was not approached on this. If you really needed clarification, I would have been happy to speak with you about this. But now I am left with the only recourse to prevent other people in the flat earth community from believing that garbage. And I have to speak about this and identify what it is. So anybody who's listening to this chat now or this broadcast will have a clear understanding. If
Marilyn?
you don't, yes, go ahead, Karen. You had a question on this.
Well, the question I have right now is the tube that we have all been using to define buoyancy and density, and it's on our banners. So the way that we should explain the tube to someone looking at it is that it is a indicator. Can we still use that tube? Because we've all got it on our banners.
Oh, sure, you can use the tube, but just know what it is. It's just an indicator of more dense things being lower because they are coming down. Their density, it defines down. No, density does not define down. Density indicates where down is.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. What defines down is the force. I call it diamagnetism. And that push down. Now, if the diamagnetism were at a different place, it would make down somewhere else.
Right.
But then we wouldn't know that because our feet would also be there.
So that would be down.
That would be down.
Yes.
But as it is, we all understand where down is because that's where our feet are.
Right.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with using the tube and saying, look, that indicates where down is. But it's really talking more about the objects or the fluids in that tube. It really is not, it's not the force. If you take that and move it over somewhere else, is that changing anything? No. If you break that glass, does that change anything? No. It's just, it's an indicator. It's not the origination. It's not the origin of the force.
And with the torus field, how that fits in there is the down is the direction that the diamagnetism is pulling it down.
No, diamagnetism pushes.
Oh, it pushes. Okay.
Yeah, diamagnetism is above us, and it's pushing everything down. It's repelling. Okay. It's repelling. Okay, so it's like you have two magnets, and you at one when they're facing each other, they attract. But you turn one around, and then it repels.
Right. Right. Okay.
Or you turn both around. I don't know. I didn't do that. So anyway, yeah. So
well, if you put the two south ends of the magnet together, they will push away from each other.
Right.
And likewise with the two north ends.
Okay. Yes. So then, if you turn one, then they attract.
Right.
Yes. The opposites attract. That's right. The likes repel. Okay. So there you have it. And I'm just a little annoyed. I was a whole lot more annoyed than I am now. So you must imagine how annoyed I was. But this is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous that kind of stuff is being put out there. What possible, what possible purpose could that have had to do? Now, here's something else. Everyone, I want you to go look up on YouTube Galileo thermometer. Same thing. Galileo thermometer. It's just an indicator, and it uses air pressure to indicate temperature. And the temperature, it shows how temperature can indicate the pressure. So that'll really be an instructional experience for you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I did kind of go over about the foundation that we have now, and I'll put that in the description. I was just on a hangout this morning, and with Howard from Spain, and I really like the guy so far. He has just a little bit of a different take on things, and I listened to him. And I took his criticism, and, I gave him a challenge, and that's the way it should be. We should all be iron is sharpening iron. Okay. If we're all out there and we're doing our teaching, we can say, hey, do it this way, or try this, or if we're smart, we're going to be watching other people's work, and we're going to be learning from what they do right and what they do wrong. And I think I am, and Karen said she was her own worst critic because we watch our own work and we try to learn from our own mistakes. And that's good. So, all right, Karen, is there anything else you wanted to add so far?
On that subject, no.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The other thing then, the second video that came out was Zoom Truth and Howard George Stirrup. Somehow Howard got on Zoom Truth's live stream, and I guess maybe Howard reached out. I didn't ask him how that happened, but I saw it and I quickly jumped on and I watched it. Now, you will watch that and you will notice that Zoom Truth brought my name up, and Zoom Truth said that I was militant. Well, this is what Zoom Truth has been trying to do now for the past couple weeks. He's trying to show that I'm militant somehow. I don't know how he's going to do that because he hasn't so far shown anybody. I put a comment in the chat on that, and I said, and I hope everybody reads the chat because that is really enlightening. You have to read the chat on Zoom Truth's Howard George Stirrup live stream, because DITRH was in there, and I was saying things that were a little challenging. And someone even tried to get me to watch what I say because I might be asked to speak at a conference. And I said, forget that. That conference needs a total overhaul.
Yes.
And I still stand by that because they are not doing anything for activism. When they had Josh there and the Denver conference, they had him in a back room and there was something competing with him. So that's not good enough. The whole conference ought to be about outreach. And if you channel celebrities, those big channels, who we don't know if you're truly getting independent, willful subscribers or if you're just buying them, we don't know that. But if you want to take your work and put it in a format and show people how you can get out on the street and you can use what you put in a video and teach it on the street, that's the only way I'm going to think that there's anything of value in your work. So I hope that's very clear, because I'm done with all this garbage. I'm done with all this. So Zoom Truth tried to say that I was militant, and the comment he read was, hit the streets, and I'm just paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly the words. Hit the streets because nothing else really matters. And he read that to Howard George, and Howard George says, well, yeah, that's right. And from then on, Zoom was trying to get rid of poor Howard, and finally, the live stream just went dead.
No.
And the only thing I can say about that is what more can you say? I mean, really, it's just when you meet up with somebody who seems like he's sincere and honest, and you try to get him to bend, and no, that's not happening. So I think you met your match, Zoom. You thought you were better than me because I was a woman or something, maybe. I don't know, because I was forgiving and I was caring. And you thought you could, take advantage in some ways. Now you're up against a man. And so now you know that you have met someone you can't just bowl over. Now, I was desperate. When I first started doing this, I was desperate for support. So I fell into a trap. No more. No more.
Marilyn.
Go ahead, Karen.
Also, I think that some of that, as far as, Zoom and the other people involved there, I think part of it is that you said maybe because you're a woman, but I think it's more because you are a strong woman and you're on the right path, you have the right answers, and maybe they just can't deal with that.
Or,
I mean, you know where you're going with this, like your goal. You have this goal and you know where you're going and you know what you're talking about, and they just can't deal with that.
Yeah, why can't they deal with it though?
Because they don't agree with you. Why don't they agree? I don't know. Is it because you're a woman? I don't know, but you're an intelligent, strong woman.
Take the woman thing out of it. What could be another reason?
Intelligent, strong, goal-oriented.
Or maybe they're not true flat earthers.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why, because you're intelligent, strong, and you have a goal, and they're not dealing with it.
Same with you, Karen. Thank you. But yeah, there's something wrong. If you don't want outreach, then you're not a true flat earther. And there are circumstances that you can't reach out. Like, maybe you can't hit the streets because you have a job that's going to fire you if you do. Well, I spoke about that on the channel this morning with George, and I said, anybody can take a card and slip it anywhere and be not detected. And I gave Dave Gessner as the prime example because he's shy and he doesn't like speak out, but he loves Flat Earth. And he'll go in bathrooms, put the cards here or there. He'll go through a store, put them underneath the globes. You know, he's very good at that. And I've learned some things from him. Now, every time I pump gas, I slide the card like anywhere in a crack that I can, right near the gas pump. So, yeah, that is, if you're not about outreach, there's something very, very wrong. You're not a flat earther.
And it's like you said before, too, if you can't do outreach, then support someone that does.
Okay.
You know, let's get behind the people that are. If you're too afraid to do it, you know, or too shy, support someone that does.
And if you are too shy, you need to talk to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Dave Gessner is doing better. He's growing. He's not out there putting out banners on his own, but he's, you know, running the website, which is excellent.
Yes.
So if you need to get over your shyness, which is really you telling the world that you don't think you matter enough. That's what it's saying. So
well, that flat earth doesn't matter enough.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not talking to someone about it in your everyday life, like you said, at the gas station, when you know, walk in a store, putting cards out, you know, you just have to build on that. And every day you will get stronger.
Yes. So tell us about your yard sale.
Well, for the last 2 weekends, I've had a yard sale, which is, you know, other than I did have a meetup Wednesday, which was one of the best meetups that I've had. Yes, there were 8 people there.
Oh my gosh, that's earth shattering.
I know. I was ecstatic. And it was in the middle of the day on a weekday, but I had a woman message me on the Meetup app, and she said that she's just learning about this and she'd really like to talk to me. So we made a lunch date, and I was going to meet her. Then after that, I had 2 more people text me and say, when's the next meetup? So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to make that lunch date the meetup. Yeah. So at 2:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, I had 8 people show up.
I hope you didn't pay the whole bill.
No. But only one of them was someone that has been to a meetup before. Wow. So that was very exciting. And, you know, I got to meet new faces, and we all decided. I had one girl come that has been in the meetup for a while, but she travels a lot, and this is the first one that she's been able to come to. And she was great. Flat Earth Goddess is her YouTube channel. Okay. But she was really outspoken and added to the meetup a lot. And then the lady that I actually made the lunch date with, she brought a friend and just had a gazillion questions. Wow. That what we all did is we all exchanged well, I post my phone number on the meetup, but everybody else exchanged phone numbers because Indica is the girl that has a Flat Earth Goddess YouTube channel. She kept stressing, we have to unite and come together. And when we're all scattered out, we're not going to accomplish as much.
You mean when you're doing all your own thing?
Yeah. And she made a really good, stressed on that, so everybody just very willingly just handed out their phone numbers to the other people there. And that was a great meetup, one of the best meetups that I've had. And we met at the Grassroots Organic Grocery Store, and they have a little patio outside down in 5 Points, and which I've done some activism there with my banners at 5 Points, and so that was a good spot to be at. But we talked. I'm pretty boisterous, so I know everybody sitting around us and walking by knew what we were talking about. So that was a lot of fun and very interesting. I was very happy about that.
I'm so
Then,
glad. I'm
yeah,
glad.
yeah. Yeah, thank you. That was great. And then with my yard sale last weekend and this weekend, everyone that walked away had a brochure, top 10 reasons, proofs, walked away with that in their hand, had some really good conversations with people about that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And then I made my decision. I've been thinking about this for months and months, and someone, maybe Marilyn, should have kicked me in the butt because I have been procrastinating going to the school board meeting. So I made that decision, as you know, this week, that the next school board meeting is June 4th, and it will actually be the last one for the year, but at least I'm getting in there this year. And I'm going to tell them, just like you said, Marilyn, now you are accountable. So you take this information and do what you will with it, but whatever you do or don't do, you are accountable now. And so I'm kind of putting together my little, speech. I'm going to say I only have 3 minutes. So that's a lot of information to pack into 3 minutes.
But I think you're wise writing it down and seeing how much you can get in there, but always leave yourself 10 extra seconds so they don't cut you off and you feel like, oh, I should have said this,
Right.
But if you write it down and rehearse it and time it, have your sister time it for you, and then you can, say, well, what you want to cut out. And you don't want, maybe you want to videotape yourself doing it so you can watch yourself.
Good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can see, well, maybe I should have a smile on my face. Maybe I should do, this or that.
Stick my tongue out at them. No, I'm just kidding, of course.
No,
but that's a good idea. Yeah. That's a good idea, but it's going to be very interesting. I just show up a few minutes early and have to fill out a card, and then they squeeze me in. But also, I want to hand out the brochures to the other people in the audience. I want to do that too. So I'm going to walk in.
The best way you can do that is if you stand at the door where they leave and just hand them out as they come out. And you can say, this is what I gave the school board. That way they will want to know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. I will do that.
Good. Okay. I am so excited because when Vincent Rhodes put me on his channel in that video, that
was awesome. That was so awesome.
What a surprise. That was a big surprise, but I'm so glad because he really promoted the idea of other people doing that.
Yes.
It was not about me. It was about going and doing that. And you said, wow, you'll get more subs. And I'm there, well, yeah, that would be nice. But I'd rather see 100 people sending me a video saying, look, I did it too. I would love that. I would love that.
Yes.
Please, everyone, please. And if you can't video record it, the school district always video records their meetings. Send me the video recording of the meeting and try and find out where the minute is that you come on, and I'll go there and I'll watch you. The thing is, and I would love to put that, I would announce you on my channel and everything if you want me to. But that is just, that would be the best thing. You can get those videos from the school district. They should be right on the website as meetings, archived or whatever. You can email them and say, where was the video from the last meeting? You can do all sorts of things, but it's public information. Public information. So you have every right to all of that. So please get it when you do this. And I'm not saying if you do it, I'm saying to everyone, when you do it, please let me know.
Yes. And there's one other thing I wanted to mention, because there's someone else that I watch on YouTube that I follow. He is so good. He is not a flat earther, but I am seeing him come around to it. And day before yesterday, he put up one video about NASA, and then he put yesterday a second video about how NASA lies. We didn't go to the moon, but never said anything about flat Earth. And I've been putting comments on his channel about, you know, you're all about the truth. He talks about our rights, you know, our First Amendment, and, you know, he talks about your rights. He does a lot of work with illegal cop stops and stuff like that. But his channel is high impact. He has flicks and vlogs. And so if you want to check him out, he has very good information. But he put out the NASA one, and I made a comment on it, and it was the highlight. In fact, it's still the highlighted comment. And I was telling him, come on, Brian, you know we don't live on a spinning ball. You're all about the truth. You got to start talking about this. And this has been the highlighted comment for 2 days, and getting like 70-something replies to my comment, and been going through the other comments. Not everyone, but probably. We can hear you pounding on the computer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Probably a good, I'm going to say half of the comments on that video were about flat Earth. You know, okay, so now you know NASA lies. You got to look into this. And so the second NASA video that he put up yesterday, he, in his pinned comment, he was thanking ODD for the clips that he used in the video. Oh. So he was thanking ODD for the clips that he was using in the video. And I'm like, you know, dude, you are, and today I put a comment on there, and I was like, keep going, you are so close. So I'm really going to be curious to see how he starts. I think he actually already knows the Earth is flat, but he hasn't come out and said it yet. So several people on his comments were saying, Brian, you're a closet flat earther. You need to come out of the closet. So you guys check out his channel. My comments on there are under my YouTube channel, Flat Earth Matters. And he's got excellent information on his channel. So anyway, I just wanted to add that. Can't hear you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you saw the lips moving and nothing was coming out.
Right. I had to just put my dog out too, so she wouldn't interrupt.
I know. What do I do? So, yeah, that's great when you can follow somebody's progression. You see them like coming closer and closer. It's really neat.
Yeah, it is.
So I hope everybody, because I had a gig yesterday, and I went to a church youth fundraiser, which was a yard sale or a flea market at a church, and it was very low key. There was only a few tables, but I'll tell you, I think I really talked to some of the youth group and even a couple parents, and they were like, I'm going to look into this. And I was like, wow,
Nice.
so I'm very encouraged by that. And I will get them all up on my other channel. I have the one channel, they're uploaded on that. And then I upload them onto my other channel. So I have to finish that today. But yeah, I had some good long conversations. And there was even this one guy, if you want to see typical, I would even say that this guy is demon possessed, but he was not lashing out in anger. He was totally like dead inside. And you'll see him right away. But he was like just a dead, like a walking dead. He didn't care about humanity. He didn't really care about anybody. I even asked him, well, is there anybody that you love? Oh, like, huh? And he was a young guy. I mean, he wasn't like old. And I'm there, oh man. And I should have just prayed over him right there.
Yeah.
I did finally say, well, you and I have nothing to talk about, but I should have prayed over him right there, because he definitely has the demon of discouragement, or, the demons have names. And once you identify who they are, like, oh, well, you have a demon of negativity, or then they start to flee. They do not like to be identified.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it would be interesting if you can figure out those things and name them right there, so they hear you say it.
Right.
But I'm going to improve on that. But this guy was like, so wow, it was a unique experience. But I'm sure I'll run into somebody like that again. And,
yeah, and there's a lot of people like that. And I think frequently I think about the guy that just flew past me at the arts market, and I was, had my banners out, talking to people, and I said, "Here, you want to take one of these home and do some research?" And the brochure, and he was like, "No, thank you." And I said, "Are you sure it'll change your life?" And he was like, he stopped and came back and said, "I need a change in my life."
Oh, that was
and he took the brochure. So I think about him frequently, and how he may have been similar to this guy that you're speaking of now, that there's people walking around that are literally like zombies. They have no feelings. They don't care about anything. They have no consideration for anyone else. And it's, I think, part of this me society. Me. It's all about me. So, yeah, and prayer is the best remedy for that. And you can say it out loud, but you don't even have to.
Right.
Because, even if you just whisper it, that will be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to pray for him anyway after this. And then, because I just had him on my heart when I watched it, and I'm there, oh, I should have said something. I should have done something. I feel bad that, like, he was desperately crying out, it seems now. Like, oh, like,
yeah.
So, I failed that one. So we can.
Well, we live and learn.
Yeah.
So now you know.
Yeah, I do. And okay. So what else? Do you have anything exciting coming up?
Well, is it next week? No, week after next is the school board meeting. I will have another meetup actually the meetup will be the same week as the school board meeting, because I'm doing them every 2 weeks now. But now I'm kind of done doing, I mean, you know, everything I've been doing, trying to get ready for stuff. And I'm kind of at a point where I can stop for a little bit. And I have not been out on the street teaching for 3 weeks.
Oh, but you
And
had your yard sale. That's just as good.
well, yeah, but not like going down to the arts market where
Yeah.
literally hundreds and hundreds of people are passing by me. And
Oh,
that's what I like. I love being in that crowd of people where you stick out like a sore thumb.
yeah.
You know, they don't miss you. I set up right at the entrance of it, and they have to walk past me to get inside.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And that shows how much you love humanity and want to tell them the truth. And that's the mark of a true flat earther, where these other people, I mean, what are they doing? They go off into a remote back alley and set up a banner. I mean, what is that? That's deception.
Yeah, it's not true. If you want to
No.
call it activism or teaching, whatever, you're not reaching the people. And for me, when I see these people come, like the arts market, when I see these people coming in, the ones that have children and babies and strollers and little ones that are holding hands, and those are the most important ones to me. And I will say to them, here, take this home and do some research. For the sake of that baby, I say that, for the sake of that child, take this home and do some research. We do not want another generation indoctrinated with the same lies that we were indoctrinated with. And I tell them that to their face. Don't do that to these babies. Teach them the truth.
Yeah. I love talking to parents with little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything going on in the chat that we should address? I don't even know how. Oh, there's 12 watching now.
Cool.
Well, I'm sure that somebody is going to get this this video out to, I'm going to post it where some of the people I mentioned, one in particular I mentioned, is going to hear this. Because I just can't let that kind of stuff go. Now, you know, the other thing is, why did Sleeping Warrior reach out to Jeranism? I don't understand that either. Why would he do that? Just so he could get out the information that wasn't correct anyway? It just doesn't, I can't understand that. So, but do you understand?
Maybe just ask him, Marilyn. Just ask him, why'd you do that with Jeranism? And do you realize that this is not correct? I mean, maybe he really believes that's correct.
Well, why would he go to Jeranism?
Yeah, because he's big.
Yeah, but see, it just doesn't make sense to me.
You know what, Marilyn? I just thought of something else, and I don't want this to slip my mind without mentioning it.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of people have already heard about this because I've been seeing a lot of comments on it. But there is actually, you know how we've been censored so bad.
Right.
And you may already know this, but there is actually a website that you can go to report YouTube censorship.
Oh.
Yes. And I'm not, oh gosh, I was looking at it yesterday and I can't remember exactly what it is, but I'm sure if you just Google, you know, report YouTube censorship, you'll come up with it. Yeah, there is a website that we can do. Actually, Trump set it up.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can go there and you can report what YouTube is doing to censor people. That doesn't have to do with what you were talking about, but I wanted to mention it before I forgot.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's a good information to know. As long as it's a true thing, you know, if it, I don't know, maybe they're I don't want to be skeptical. I'm just going to say yes. That's a good thing to know.
Yeah. Well, let's check it out. I haven't even had time to check it out yet. I mean, I was going to today, but yeah, I haven't personally checked it out to see how it looks. But it's there. We can go check it out and see what it's about.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's 11:25. I think we came right on at 10:30. So is there anything else? Anybody in the chat have anything they want to post up really quick that I can address in a minute or something? Pray for their faults to be removed. Participants, let me see. Dennis L., Flat Earth Map. Maryland Spirit Level. So I've been participating in the chat.
That's good.
Yeah, so good. Oh, and Mikey was on here too. Mikey Smith, he kind of left then, I guess. Flat Earth is New Jerusalem. The Falcon. He asked if you and DITRH sorted stuff out. Well, I put it out there that all the Flat Earth celebrities need to step up their game and start talking about outreach. And, if they're not doing that, I want nothing to do with them. And I've said that for months now. I've been saying that. So if you don't like outreach, then I don't like you. Because that's what it's all about. And see, from the very beginning, when like over a year ago, when I started saying this, from the very first conference in 2017, I kept saying, well, I don't understand why they don't want outreach, because it'll just get them more subscribers. It'll bring more people in. So maybe they don't want more subscribers because they don't have real ones anyway. So
oh yeah,
so you just have to, I don't know. I try not to dwell on what they're doing, but I just couldn't understand about this relative density thing. And why do the relative density and not density and buoyancy? Because everybody knows what that is. So you're adding a new word, relative, in there. That, well, what does that mean? People have to think, well, what does that mean? They don't gain confidence from having command over a word that they understand and know already. So why do that? Why add something else in the mix when it isn't even,
part
the
of
same?
it. Yeah.
It's not even the same. We're apples and oranges, remember? I don't get it. So here we go. It's 27. I think we can sum this up here. That there's a lot of stuff going on, and I hope everybody gets out there and do as Karen is going to do. Get to your next school board meeting. Write up a little paragraph, even if it takes 2 minutes. You don't have to go the full 4 minutes or 3 minutes. You can just say something and pass out a card or something to the school board. Of course, they will have something there, or just write down the website on a piece of paper and just pass it to each one of them. So do something. Get to the school board and say, I've been hearing about this flat earth, and I wondered if you guys have looked into this. Is there anything to it? I want the school to teach a truth. That's what the law says. So you are accountable for knowing what the truth is now that I brought it here to you.
Right.
That's all you have to say. I mean, how easy could that be? So let's, if we love humanity, we will love everybody's children. So let's get there. Let's get there and get these school boards held accountable. That's what we've got to do.
Yes.
All right. Okay, we will, I'm going to probably go off of the broadcast then. And Karen, you can hold on for a second, and we'll close this up offline. All right, everybody have a great week. I'm glad you could join us. I'm glad you're watching, and
come back next week and tell us what you did.
That's right. Good one. All right.
Yeah.